Hey, Annissa Coy here with Firehouse Education and this week's Ask Annissa video column. And this week we are featuring an email that we got from Shelby. And here's what Shelby had to say. Hello, Annissa. Hope you are doing well. I've gone through your Firehouse Education training online and I think you guys are just amazing. Well, thank you, Shelby. Glad you enjoyed the course. I had a question regarding smoke contents. We got contacted last week to help someone who had smoke dispensed through their 3-story condo. It was light smoke, but you can see the residue on the walls and contents. She sent me some pictures. These homeowners are into meditation, sound therapy, holistic wellness, and such. They have many crystals and rocks, and I wanted to reach out to you to see if you have any experience cleaning such items. I figured we could ultrasonic clean them to get into all the nooks and crannies, but decided to Google that first. It seems like for the most part, hard minerals and crystals can go through ultrasonic cleaning if not treated, coated in oil, wax, etc. And no other softer minerals, or if you can see internal fractures. I just wanted to see if I could get your expert opinion on this. I'm just wondering if I should just give them a mild, medium degreaser bath and light brushing, or if they would be fine going through the ultrasonic. Also, they have 2 decent sized pieces of coral about the size of my head that would need to be cleaned as well. One is white and the other is red. Not sure if it's natural or dyed and sealed. I'm assuming they may be too delicate for the ultrasonic, but would love your opinion on those as well, Shelby. Okay, awesome, Shelby. Great, great question. So this is very important to have this in your client onboarding process to talk to them and find these things out. For instance, if someone just has crystals or rocks that are just for decoration, they may not be as important to them, let's say, as someone who does holistic healing like sound and meditation. So they have some very strong feelings, obviously, on how to deal with these because it can interrupt their, I guess, holistic approach to it. Okay. So it's really important in our client onboarding to make sure what they use these crystals for and how they feel about them. So the first thing that I would do is ask them how they choose to clean and handle these, because that's going to give us a lot of insight into what their thought process is. Okay. So on the crystals, yes, you can dip rocks and crystals in the ultrasonic machine. However, it might not be something that they want done if they're using them for holistic, like the sound healing and meditation. So what I would start with is obviously asking them those questions, but let's say they're not okay with the ultrasonic dipping. So what I would do then is I would obviously HEPA vacuum them and maybe take a microfiber cloth and wipe them off. And then I would choose to do them in just rinse them in just warm water. Now, you don't want to lay the crystals or rocks in the water to soak because that can actually cause damage to them. And you don't want to use hot water. Okay, just use warm water. And then if that does it, great. That's our minimal step, right? If they're okay with it and maybe the soot is baked on or greasy, then we might need to actually do some agitation. And I would use a very soft brush, maybe like a soft toothbrush or a soft nail brush that you can kind of agitate in the warm water. And hopefully that will do it for you. The one thing that I would recommend if you are just doing like a light cleaning, needing some solution, is maybe doing something very, very mild, like a Dawn dish soap. Okay. And again, I wouldn't soak them. I would just clean them in it and then rinse them with warm water and let them set out to dry. Now, you can put these in your drying room as long as you don't have your drying room set very hot. Okay. And then obviously hydroxyling them for odor. Now, let's talk about the coral. So coral is very abrasive, right? And especially if it's natural coral. If it's fake, that's a different story. But let's say it's natural, which I'm guessing it probably is with this client. Then you're going to want to use a air compressor and blow them off. And then I would do the light brush again, very soft, either a toothbrush and or a nail brush, and try to kind of agitate to make sure you can get anything loose off of that. I would not dip coral in ultrasonic. It can definitely crack it, break off pieces and such. And then again, you can dry these in your drying room. The heat isn't going to massively affect them, but your hydroxyl drying room would be amazing to be able to get the odor out of those items. And again, if this is like crystals and rocks that are decor and they're very heavily sooted, you can dip them. Again, want to be careful with dipping the crystals if the ultrasonic is, high intensity. You might want to start with a medium to low intensity to see if that will work for them, because it can, if they have cracks and crevices in the crystal, it can crack them and damage them. Okay, so yeah, that's how I would handle those. So thank you, Shelby, so much for the email. That was a great question. These are the kind of things that are kind of tough, right? Like they're different. They're just not your everyday average things that you're dealing with. And again, in your client onboarding, it's very important to talk to them to find out what they use these crystals and rock for, because that may dictate how you're going to handle them in the cleaning and deodorization process. Awesome. Okay, Shelby. Well, thank you again so much for the email. If you guys have an awesome burning question for Annissa, just ask me. Send an email to Annissa@firehouseeducation.com. And in the subject line, say Ask Annissa. And then maybe, just maybe, I might feature you on next week's Ask Annissa video column.